you have, let me make sure my volume's turned up so everybody can hear Courtney and Amanda behind me. That's high. Hold on. There we go.
Okay.
You want to go to watchdrmo.com. It says my video is private. Can you guys see watchdrmo.com?
No, it just told me it was live streaming though.
Okay, so we're out there. All right, so if you got questions on GLP-1s, lifestyle management, all the things, ask all the things. Oh, here's Courtney. There we go.
Okay. I'll have to mute.
And it says we're live. Oh yeah, we're live.
It's doing the thing where it's changing people though, if you care.
Oh, you mean like when we talk, like speaker view?
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
let's do gallery view. How's that? All right, compound survival. So that's a damn good question. I'm like, oh, I knew we were gonna hit this one today.
Yep.
Yeah, I just had I actually just got a text on that, so I'm gonna tell her, don't polo me, give me some information. Let's see.
Morning, Linda.
All right. Hi, Linda. Okay, so will compound survive? To go back to when the Manjaro coupon, did its thing and we all freaked out and then there wasn't supply anyway and all this other crap happened, right? The short answer is we don't know. Eli Lilly is not happy with people using compounded tirzepatide. It is technically not compounded tirzepatide. It is the compound used in tirzepatide. So let's make that like absolutely 100% clear. Tirzepatide is Eli Lilly's drug. It is the name of it. They have, and you know what? I had somebody tell me yesterday, well, that's stupid. I'm like, it's their intellectual property. They made this shit. Let them have it. So I know how long it takes to get a trademark. Good job, Eli Lilly. It took us a year for our piddly little AMS one. And we're not, well, we are changing the world, but in a much smaller scale than Eli Lilly. So we don't really know. But we do know that people are getting, clinics are getting cease and desist orders from Eli Lilly, from a law firm down the road, oddly, here, Houston, telling them to stop making it. So I don't know if they're going to go after the compounding pharmacies. I have not seen Novo Nordisk doing the same thing at this point. They've done a Revive pharmacy in Houston has had a lawsuit for 3 or 4 months from Eli Lilly, and they're still compounding. So I'm like, we don't use them. They had some other concerns that I was not comfortable with, so we don't use them. But I'm not saying they're not good. It's just my personal preference. It's just how I roll. So anyhow, that was a really long answer to I don't know. But we will help people navigate in any way we can. That's the bottom line. That's what we did when the coupon thing went away. And we had a lot of people, leave AMS when the coupon left because they couldn't afford $1,000 a month, which I get. But the problem is Eli Lilly telling you that doses are available doesn't necessarily mean doses are available. So hi, Lena.
Although ironically, one of our patients was waiting for CVS to get her Zepbound. Couldn't get it. I'd even texted the local Zepbound rep. I'm like, what's the deal? And she says, CVS doesn't play well in the sandbox. See if she can do Walmart or Walgreens. So we sent it to Walmart. And then she had simultaneous prescriptions ready at CVS and Walmart.
Oh, for God's sake. Yeah.
That's what I said. Oh, good grief.
I mean, I've still had
Walmart because it's $10 cheaper for her. So
I've still had this week patients get a different dose than what they would like because that was what was available at their pharmacy. So is it readily available? Like maybe on their end, but the supply hasn't gone out to pharmacies. And then again, we're back in the same boat. Once their supply goes out, how long does it last in pharmacies? And where are we back to the shortage? Like it's never been a consistent supply.
Yes.
I upped to 15 because I couldn't get my 12 and a half. And
Yeah.
a patient over the weekend did the same thing. And I told her, along with myself, you need to make sure and don't overeat.
Yes.
Or to hurt yourself.
Yeah, you got lots of control going at 15.
But I
Four.
haven't taken it yet. Take it next Friday.
You got a kid in the background. I got a dog. I think it's a control and scare tactic by Lily. I don't doubt that. Because they don't like people making their drug, you know? I mean, I get it, but then could they make it, please? And make it a little cheaper so we can actually not have to like sell a kidney to get it?
Make it affordable. And as of now, we haven't heard of these letters going to the actual pharmacies, correct?
Which I
We
found
have,
really interesting.
as of last night, they're just going to providers.
Yeah.
And nowhere in the letter does it say, please stop prescribing. They say
Right.
stop promoting,
Right.
but it doesn't say stop prescribing. I'm like, well, I don't, I mean, I do promote things, but I promote my lifestyle management stuff. Like that's
Right.
more important to me. Not more important, but period. Which sort of brings me to, hold on, where was the question? Maintenance, staying on it forever. But it is going to med spas too. Well, because now if you look at the advertising for most of these med spas, they're like, we've got Manjaro.
Mm-hmm.
You got something in a vial that some Bob's peptides shipped to you and you mixed it up yourself because some of them are doing that. So it's like, yeah. And I did not know that. I did not see that. Reddit's a scary place sometimes. I'm just saying, like, there are things I don't want to know. Like, once I know, I can't unknow.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the med spas were mixing it up. I'm like, that's not freaking sterile, guys. It's like, I don't care how you slice it. These compound pharmacies have to undergo these like killer regulations, which is why I inject it into my body. Okay. So anyway, staying on it forever. Yes. So
In
not
short.
everybody has to, right? Not everybody has to. And I joked, you know, for the longest time, it's not like my husband hangs out on TikTok. So for the longest time, first of all, I hid the fact that I was taking this from my husband. I had it wrapped up in a paper towel, the pens, in the back of the fridge. Like, seriously. Like, and I told him like 3 weeks later, so here's the deal. I'm on drugs. Here's your brain on drugs. It was like the old egg commercial, you know? But I told him, I said, you know, here's what's happening, but I have to tell you because I'm so grateful for it and I can actually think and use my brain and this and that. And God, can I please sit in my normal chair? I don't like sitting over here. So hold on, you can see my boobs for a second. Hey, it's like TikTok, right? So I'm not dancing on the way over, just so everybody knows.
Oh,
no,
come on.
no TikTok.
TikTok dance. Come on.
I know, right? Jesus. People, no, just a hard no. Yeah, the chance of me dancing. Look, I don't drink anymore. So there will be no more dancing on tables on St. Patrick's Day. Maybe. I don't know. I might on St. Patrick's Day. Okay. That was sorry. Squirrel. That's a much better view that way. Okay. So my husband has been the type of, he's like, you know, you should do like an 18-month thing or a 6-month thing and then try to get off and you should develop these protocols and then one day we were talking not too long ago and he's like, so do you think you'll stay on it forever? I said, you know, I don't know, but I know I'm taking it Monday because I know that I am not there yet. I am not ready. I know I'm not. If I go below 5, my food noise is just out of control. And the thing is too, I mean, I still get hungry. Even if I'm on 7.5, I get hungry. 7.5 cuts out that food noise. Like it just boom, gone. I love it. You know, and when I do eat more refined sugars, it goes up. Like the food noise just, and I get that. So we were at our condo last week and I had ice cream like 3 times. We didn't buy any for the condo for the first time since we went there. I was like, thank you family for supporting me in this. And I took 7.5 on Monday because I knew in your, Goodyear freckles. Absolutely. Hi, Regina. If you've never had any noise, you don't understand it and people don't get it. And it's so funny because people are like, what's food noise? And I'm like, God, can I use your brain for like just 30 minutes? Cause you gotta be so damn productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless you if you don't know.
I wish.
Yeah, like never has the hashtag if you know been so freaking appropriate.
Yeah. I was
So
talking to two people at my physical work the other day. They were talking about struggling with food, what have you. Of course, they know what my other job is, but one of them said, "I heard it on TikTok the other day. I think it's called what they say, food noise." And I was like, "Where?" And they both of them were like, "And that's me. I'm like, where have you been for the last 2 years? Like, you physically work with almost all of us. Where have you been?" For 2 years, I was like, yeah, yes, we're very familiar with the
was it
food
somebody
noise."
who used to work with me too?
Yes!
What the hell? Like, come
On
on.
nights even. Yes.
What's food noise? It's the thing that makes Gibbons batshit crazy.
I was like, "Yes, we're very familiar with food noise, and yes, that is what the medication does."
Now, I have a question for Courtney. Do you feel like it's the same on semaglutide for you? Do you see a difference?
It depends on the week, but I'll tell you, even on tirzepatide, it depended on the week for me.
Yeah.
I would say the food noise side of it, maybe not quite as quite as good. But that being said, like, I went out to lunch last week, bought a blondie and have like nibbled on it. Okay, now normally any sweet that I purchased and brought home would be like gone no matter how full I was. It's like had nibbles off of it, and still probably almost half of it is sitting there since like last Friday. So do I have the ability to stop? Yeah, which is huge.
So, that also brings me to the shortage issue, this and that and the other thing. And Novo Nordisk was doing this before. And I said something to my husband. We were sitting there and I was like, oh my God, if we can't use tirzepatide, blah, 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 what are we gonna do? And I'm trying to think of like how do we make this work for people? And he looks at me and he goes, you still have semaglutide though, right? I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. I guess I'll just not worry about it. Let it go. That's got to be a tomorrow me problem because we don't know, right? We can go through a bunch of different scenarios. And even Laura asked me yesterday, so if we get a cease and desist letter, how are we going to change things? I'm like, I don't know. Like it doesn't say stop prescribing in there.
No. No.
It says stop making it. I don't make it. Why are you like I think did somebody get the wrong list? Like, did somebody get the wrong mailing list? Because I don't do those things and you're sending it to me, don't make it. So that's why I'm actually wondering about the med spa thing. Are they actually targeting the people who get it from like Bob's Peptides and put it out there? And
Honestly, if that's the case, go for it.
absolutely. I don't want people doing that shit.
Please get the crap off the market. If that's who they're
They're calling
targeting,
it the gray market, by the way. It ain't gray. That's black.
Yeah. And they're charging out the wazoo,
Oh,
and
I
people
was like, is it not working?
and I mean, I think, those are in particular the places where you have to go in every week, where we've had difficulty when patients want to transition. No one will tell them their dose. Well, we're giving you 15 units. What does that mean? Nobody knows what that means, and no one will tell them their dose. And it's likely that the med spa doesn't know the dose. They
Yeah,
just know how
right.
many units they're giving. Like,
They're like, oh, this is supposed to be 15 units. We start everybody on 15 units, and that's
yeah,
what we do.
And
Yeah.
speaking of doses,
Yeah.
I think we need to talk on the public live that there of the bell curve. I talk often on the video visits about the bell curve, and that's the way that I really see the distribution in our patients. We would love for everybody to respond to 2.5 or 0.5 or very low doses. We would really, really love that if everybody could be on the cheaper chicken and not have to increase their cost at all. We would love it. It's not reality. Reality is your dose is your dose. And I see it as a bell curve that often we have a few people like Dr. Mo that respond to those really low doses. Most of our patients, and this is true for both semaglutide and tirzepatide, are going to be somewhere in the middle, around the 7.5 to 10 for tirzepatide and around the 1 to 1.7 for semaglutide. And there are going to be that population of people that need the 12.5 to 15 to really make some progress. It makes me so sad when people want to take 1 or 2 months of 2.5 or even a couple of weeks or like nothing's happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not your dose.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want you to be successful, but the reality is to be successful, many patients, I don't want to dissuade you or think that we're pulling a bait and switch or anything like that. Many patients need higher doses and they will be effective. I think we have 0% of patients that if we are allowed to adjust their dose and give them that time, do not get results.
And work
We've
with them on
gotten results
habits
on
and
everything.
lifestyle, and because you can't go through life like a stressed out human, like super stressed out, right? Like we all have stress.
Yeah.
But Ronnie's Magical Life said, man on the pen has been talking about who, what, and why the letters are going out. I did see that. Yeah, I actually sent that to my little provider group. I didn't send it to the whole company because I didn't want people seriously getting freaked out. But so 7.5 was my dose for 5 months. It stopped working, now moving to 10.
Mhm.
Here's what I found, because I was on 5 forever and now I need 7.5 more often. It's not always. So it won't always necessarily, because people are like, well, I don't want to keep going up because what if I top out at 15 and there's nowhere to go? You need to be effective. It needs to be effective, right? It needs to be an effective dose. It needs to be your dose, whatever that is for the day. Maybe like with me, I still take metformin 500 in the evenings. I don't take it in the morning because I lift in the morning. So I'm back to once a day. Could I take a gram a day? Probably. Do I know? I don't know why. I don't know. I don't feel any different on metformin, but I know it's better for my longevity and my metabolic repair because I have 40 years of shit behind me. So do we need to add medications? Do we need to do this, that, the other thing? I got my protein shake latte right here. And my mug that says don't quit writing because I'm working on my book still. My reminder for the day. So that's kind of how it works. Amy just got off the phone with a doctor who's requiring that I log everything I eat. Is that normal? I love your doctor. Good job. Not because it's like we're not trying to make you pathologic, but like Courtney has always said, we can't change what we don't know. So if you're like, because literally almost like every complaint I saw, I had to snooze the Facebook groups because everything coming up on my feed, and of course I want to help them all. And I'm like, just, you're going to waste your time on people that are literally going to Mochi. Stop coaching Mochi's people. Coach your own people. So that's why, because that's the big group that, comes up all the time. So 99% of them are, this isn't working for me, which we already grabbed, or I've stalled. No, the best part is I just started yesterday. Is this going to work for me? No, the hundreds of thousands of millions of people are wrong. We're all wrong. All the studies are wrong. We're wrong. Just, is it going to work by tomorrow? No. But again, like everyone said, we're not stopping tomorrow.
Right.
This is the long game. You know when I'm going to stop? When I'm going to stop improving? I was discussing this with my financial advisor yesterday. I'm going to stop growing the day that I'm cremated. Okay, probably a couple days before because it takes a little bit. But, that's when I'm going to stop helping other people. I'm not going to stop coaching because we were talking about like future financial plans and how long I could work. I said, I will not stop coaching. My medical practice will be run by someone else. I will still coach within that practice. My private coaching, like the VIP hour after this one, I will not stop doing that. I'm going to be a 90-year-old annoying as fuck lady. Just get ready. I'm annoying now. It's going to get worse, I'm sure. Okay, sorry. Let me get to the things. And I work out a lot, cross training and lots of weights. Can it work against me losing? Yes and no. Number one, weights do not really raise your cortisol. Okay, that's overblown cardio, fat Ironman belly, Ironman cortisol belly. You can spot it a mile away. Gotta go to an expo. So because they're super lean, but the cortisol belly, it's entertaining. So anyway, but if there's no Rumpelstiltskin way to do this. You cannot lose fat and gain muscle. You can preserve muscle while you're losing fat, but you have to have a surplus to gain muscle. Now, my husband and I are actually working on, because he's Mr. Smarty Pants and I'm not, he is actually starting to work on dialing it in, because historically we always do what bodybuilders do, right? You have to bulk to gain muscle. We're actually working on a way to do it so you don't have to bulk per se. So you can maintain your weight. You can gain, my goal is to gain 1 pound of muscle a month. And so, I mean, that's friggin' nitpicky, right? Because you can, under optimal circumstances, women can gain about 2 pounds a month, right? That's just not, I mean, let's be real. This is not optimal. Nothing about this is optimal. So I figure if I go for 1, but then I asked him, I said, well, how much can you put on a day? We researched, this is what we did on vacation. We researched how many grams of muscle can you build a day? So we're actually dialing that in, not like, so you don't have to gain 20 pounds and then lose it again, right? Because you don't want to be metabolically deranged. You don't want to gain. So the question is, if you're putting on muscle truly, it doesn't go on real fast. You're gaining a 1/4 pound a week. So if you're not losing, you're eating too much, because you're probably in that mentality of, I've got to feed my workouts. So is the CrossFit itself hindering your loss? No. Is the way you're eating? Yes. It's kind of long.
No, but that goes back to like a very, very, very common myth that fat can turn into muscle.
Yeah, no. Rebel
Yeah,
cells
it doesn't. Those cells don't change. Like you can decrease the size of the fat cells, and you can increase the size of your muscle cells, but they don't. Those cells don't interchange to one another.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great?
Boy, I wish it would.
Yeah. Right? For sure.
We had a question on berberine.
So somebody said so I just joined, you don't recommend staying on Mounjaro long term. Not sure where that came from. If you need it, stay on it, because the risk of being obese and metabolically deranged are so much higher. Bariatric surgery, this is a study that Greg sent to me. My husband's almost done with his PhD in health and human performance. So now he's opening up all this brain space, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, he's like, I have so much I can contribute. Can I give scientific articles to AMS for your library? Yes, please. Thank you. So anyway, bariatric surgery and GLP-1s reduce the risk of obesity-related cancers, but the GLP-1s reduced the risk of obesity-related cancers by 39%.
Wow.
I was like, and supposedly they give you a better sex life. Just saying. That was another article that came out, not in a scientific journal. I don't know, maybe it was. I didn't read the article. I was just saying I didn't have that, and I went right by.
Well, it's come up with some patients. They've asked me.
It has come up with some patients.
Yeah, it goes back to the men who have a significant level of body fat, losing a lot of that quickly and losing that estrogen production. And then the testosterone can increase.
Oh, yeah, for dudes.
Yeah.
I'm not a dude.
Same.
Well, so for the dudes, it's very explainable. But I mean, somewhat, shouldn't that be true for women as well? I mean, we have
It should be. It should be. And the fact that we're rocking a new body, which should really make us want to just flaunt that shit. But there's flaunting, and then there's the part that takes effort. So yeah.
But a lot of our patients also have perimenopause and menopause to deal with at the same time. So God, yeah.
Who knows?
A lot of factors on the
loving. Yes, thank you, Sherry, for loving that I'm annoying. Not everybody does. That's what we tell people. Like, listen, if you don't roll with us, I get it. I got plenty of providers we can get you to. There's a million out there. What is our view on berberine? Nothing really. I don't have one. People will say it's the new GLP-1. No, it's an old supplement that we've all tried for weight loss before, and it did absolutely nothing. In the studies, it does show to have some anti-inflammatory properties, which is one of the big benefits of GLP-1s, because they decrease your endothelial, the inside your blood vessels. They decrease that inflammation, and that's what causes coronary events. So freaking bonus there. So which brings me back to the staying on it long term. Even if you don't have food noise, like my dad does not have food. He has no food noise, no side effects. We can manipulate his dose. Like we can do anything to him. And he's like, well, okay. And he just, because he looks at the numbers, right? And he's such a habitual eater. So anyway, he just loves the numbers. So, but we've talked about it, and he's like, so, he loses a 1/2 pound a week. He said, so when I'm kind of done, like, what do I do? And I said, well, personally, I would like to keep you on a low dose. I don't know what the optimal dose is for cardio protection. but I would like to keep him on a low dose as long as I can because it's protective. Like, okay. So yes, as far as staying on it long term, I have no safety concerns unless you have a history of multiple endocrine neoplasia, type 1, to be specific. Or a history of medullary thyroid carcinoma. There's a grain of salt somewhere.
That is.
Your gastroparesis. Again, grain of salt somewhere. Why do you have gastroparesis? Do you have diabetes? Or is this an underlying neurologic issue in your gut? And here's my thing, right? We've got a ton of serotonin and GLP-1 receptors in your guts, right? Because it's part of what it does. I would actually like to see someone, not me, do a study on what it does for mild to moderate gastroparesis on a GLP-1. I want it studied. I want it actually, no more speculation, no more bullshit. I want it looked at. What does this do? Because does it regulate? What if it regulates your gut motility? That's the problem. Yes, it slows it down, but does it regulate it? Look at the people with IBS and nonspecific colitis who have improvement on a GLP-1 low dose, 1.25 a week. What if something like that could actually help someone's gastroparesis? Do we look at that? No. I don't know. Somebody's probably looking at it, but they're smarter than me. I'm just on the ground. And good morning, Billy. I'm just on the ground doing my shit.
Or, I mean, it could be a combination effect. Like, does it lower food noise enough that some of your behaviors that contributed to the gastroparesis when it would flare, that you can stop some of those behaviors and therefore stop some of the gastroparesis episodes? Like, we don't know. Maybe it's twofold effect.
Yeah. How many people in the ER with severe gastroparesis had Kentucky Fried Chicken the night before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, we know this. We did this for years. So, Mark, do I recommend a body composition analysis along your journey? So that, Mark, gets me into the coaching that happens in a half an hour. So super cool thing. By the way, I added a second coaching call. So there's a VIP coaching call after this hour on Tuesday. You get me one-on-one, very small group. Well, currently a small group. Hopefully it won't be forever because I want to change the world. But you get me one-on-one coaching in a group setting with lessons on things I recommend, like deep dive for those things. So now we've got calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and everyone has access to them. I just said, open it up. So over there in my private coaching, yes, I would recommend body composition and following. It's hard to do in our medical practice. People do body fat scales, but ideally we would have people get a DEXA scan once we start getting, right? So I want to get you to an A+ life, right? So my private coaching is mindset, it's lifestyle, it's financial, it's business, it's all the things, it's all the fun things for me anyway. And I want people to have like above and beyond, right? So I can't talk about those things in the medical practice because that's a lot of side effect management. Do I go up? That's a lot more dosing stuff and basics. We need the big rocks in place. A body fat scale is totally fine for 99% of people when they're looking at the trend, right? Is that number going to be right? And I'm just thought about it. I'm like, I have no idea what my body fat was this morning. Because I just get on the scale, hop off. So the person who asked me to log, we know we've discussed this, it's a trigger for people. I hop on my scale and then I get off, but it's logged in a graph, which is what I care about. So, yes, I do recommend following body comp. For maintenance to insurances deny coverage after losing the weight and being a normal BMI. Many of them do. Amanda's did. She would have had to become obese again to get it covered, and then they probably wouldn't cover it
But
later.
they wouldn't let me. So mine is just wackadoodle. They wouldn't let me start Zepbound, but they would have let me continue it. But because I'm already below a BMI of 30, but ironically, they're covering Mounjaro for non-diabetic. So whatever.
Yeah, that's just bizarro.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Down 52. Good job. Awesome job, Mark. I feel you. Doesn't it feel great in your skin? Like that's my whole thing. That's why I will never stop coaching, because I love to help people. Well, I love to help people build a life they don't need to vacation from. And that's in your skin. That's in your bank account. It's all the things. Let's talk about poop.
Always.
Yes.
Always.
Hey, I'm a greens convert. My Grunes, I'm telling you,
You like them? They're good.
I like them. and
Fireworks over on
things-
YouTube.
I know things are more normal. They're fun to eat.
Okay.
Legit, they are shaped like a bear.
So Amanda's talking about these new gruns, GRUNS, they're greens. I do AG1. I don't care which one you do, whichever one your guts can tolerate. It seems to help everyone I know who is on a green supplement that agrees with them.
Mhm.
It helps their constipation. So instead, I mean, granted, you need Miralax, like if it's one of those where you need like a week of Miralax, go with the in the very beginning, I was not doing greens. I did Miralax once a day, dialed it into my dose because that's what I do. And I was doing Colace twice a day because I'm prone to constipation anyway. So that's, again, oh shoot, we didn't do the disclaimer. Here we go.
Oh,
Number
yeah.
one, this is not medical advice. We're just shooting the shit. Number two, if you want to come see us or check out our states, go to AMS Telehealth, amstelehealth.com. It's real easy. That was dumb. I do this every week. I'm like, I just give away much free shit. That's how I roll. But if you want to be our patient and actually do this, because we have a nice little safe space patient call on Wednesday nights. We call it happy hour. We talk about poop a lot over at happy hour. We talk about greens a lot. Yeah, so this is the second time I've heard it this week that the vibration plate is helping people. You know what will also help with constipation is movement.
Mhm.
So I'm going to actually go through, so I have 3 daily non-negotiables in my coaching program that I'll tell you, because information should be free. Implementation and accountability, you have to invest in, because if you don't pay, you don't pay attention. So my 3 pillars, I only have 3, which is nice because listen, we got to go coaching grows higher this way. The patient pillars are more like the base. But you have to move. You've got to have movement. You have to move every day. And I'm talking dedicated movement. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, start with 10. You've got to get your protein in, and you have to do a gratitude journal. So that's a non-negotiable every day, 3 things. Minus the workout. It doesn't take very long. Yes, Mark, in body, I think is great. So now creatine. Yes. So I take creatine for muscle retention and dementia prevention, not treatment. I'm just scattered. It's not dementia. What states are we in? Oh, thank you, Lena. Thank you.
Thanks, Lena.
I'm like, hold on a second. Hold on. In maintenance, and I've increased exercise and it increased appetite, suggestions to balance. So Kiki, the big deal with that, it will increase your appetite because that's why we failed at eat less, move more, and good luck. Because your body will fight you against that. So you can either increase, dementia prevention dose is 10 to 20 grams a day. I take a shit ton of creatine. I'm at 10. But anyhow, you can increase bulk in your food. The same things we would have been doing when dieting, right? We increase your bulk a little bit. It depends where you are. Are you like, we have a patient who exercises very religiously. She does not want to lose any more weight. So we've actually had to increase her food density to combat weight loss. So it's a really nuanced thing. That one's a tough thing to answer, but it's really the old diet strategies. Increase your bulk, have more real food, less shakes, things like that, because that will help you with the hunger. Or you can talk to your provider about changing your dose. Because, if you're working toward like an event or something, like a race or something, you actually may need to increase your dose if you need the appetite control, if you're overeating what you need for fuel, right? Because it's got to be a balance. That's tough. 1 year on Manjaro, down 80 pounds, completely different, no processed food, hardly any sugar, and only drink water. That's a habit change extraordinaire. And I move. Good. Yeah, in the beginning.
This one, real quick. I've been taking shots for 4 weeks and have lost 4 pounds. Is that normal? If you're just starting out, that can be totally normal. This goes back to that you may not be at your dose yet, but a pound a week is nothing to shake a stick at.
A pound a week is excellent weight loss.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Just think where you will be if that continues.
Yeah.
And you won't get a whole lot of this like I got. It goes away after a while, but it's not going to be perfect. I'm 50, for God's sake. In the beginning, I could only walk maybe 8 minutes. That's key. That is key. I am way too, oddly, much more sedentary now than I was because I keep taking things on that fill my calendar. Period. So
Same. Same.
yeah, so I'm actually working on lifting differently, more progressive overload, pushing harder, and doing dedicated cardio short, not hit. I don't do intervals per se. Oh shoot, I got to increase my run length tomorrow though. It's Wednesday. But regular, like, so, because I don't have I've never been particularly, my non-activity exercise thermogenesis has never been high. I'm not a fidgeter. I'm a sitter. That is my nature. So for me to not be sedentary is me going against inertia. So I've got to really create process in that again, which is part of, why I like to coach people because I'm lazy as shit. People are like, oh, I wish I was addicted to exercise. Yeah, me too. I'm like, I'm lazy as hell. So anyway, Jamie, I'm a year in and don't lose a pound a week, but I wish I did. Yeah, my dad loses half a pound a week religiously these days. So, and same Mark, my best dose for initial weight loss, I was on 2.5 and we're early responders. We were lucky enough to be early responders, but most people are not. The bulk of people have to get to 7.5 before they like start seeing anything really.
Lacey over on Zoom asked about the creatine and if it reduced the chance of getting dementia, or does it help people who already have it? And I believe it reduces the chance
I
of dementia.
know it reduces the chance, but I don't know if it helps because it might help progression. Well, here's
Yeah,
the thing. GLP-1s also help progression of dementia because they decrease the neural inflammation. So it's incredible. I'm sorry. These drugs are like freaking amazing.
Well, but I would say the problem with that is there's significant problem many times with appetite already in dementia. They lose almost any appetite stimulation or desire to eat. So that would be a tough.
Well, maybe because some people forget they eat and overeat. So it's a very tough balance.
Mhm. But I know with my mom, she had lost, I don't know, 15 to 20 unintentional pounds. Partly from depression, but partly from just she doesn't really, if you don't put the food in front of her, she will not eat.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
if you put her on a GLP-1, you're going to put the food in front of her and she's not going to eat it. So
maybe depends because again, if she doesn't have, if it's not the appetite suppression dose, but it's the dementia treatment dose, right? So that's what the studies need to actually focus on is can you put somebody on a low dose so you don't affect their appetite, but you help their dementia progression. That's a study, man. That's a freaking study. So, well, like my friend who is on 1.25 for non-specific colitis, right? I mean, she's literally, it's been debilitating colitis. Can't do anything without planning runs around a bathroom or whatever. She's at 1.25 a week and she has no issues. Now she eats just fine. She has no, like, she's not particularly appetite suppressed. It doesn't affect that, but it affects her guts enough to fix it. So, somebody asked something. Food is not something to think about or even look forward to. Yeah, some people quit tirzepatide because they can't use food as enjoyment anymore.
yeah. Well, and then we got Danielle asked, have you ever had someone that went up on tirzepatide and started gaining back? I would want to see what else is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. It's always related to something else.
Yeah, except we have that weird phenomenon with a few people, and somehow it's around that 7.5 dose where 7.5 is doing pretty good. And they go, okay, let me up it to 10. They up it to 10 and they go, my appetite suppression's way down. I don't know what happened. For some reason, going back down to 7.5, like that is their dose. That's what we call it. That is your dose. That's what works for you. And they'll rock it at 7.5.
And it's always 7.5 and 10.
It really is. It's always that little flip. I don't know.
Yeah. Because the 12.5 and 15s can usually interchange pretty well.
Yeah.
7.5 and 10s, literally probably a third of them are like, nope, I like 7.5 better, going back down.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, works for me.
I know, whatever. especially because it's cheaper. Lena, but I can't enjoy myself if I stop. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So yes, so Mark, you nailed it. So tersepatide is only the first step. So we have pillars at AMS. We have pillars that we talk about. It's hydration, it's protein, it's stress reduction, adequate sleep, restorative sleep, and movement. And that's not the actual pillars, but I need to do them quick today because we only have 20 more minutes. But one of the biggest things that I realized, which is why I started the private coaching, is that weight loss is just the beginning. And I've got people in my private coaching group, which is why I opened it up the way I did, to 2 calls a week. And the way we're doing it now, you get actually twice the value for the same cost, which is amazing in my opinion. And I don't have to do any more, which is key. Nothing more on my calendar. I have people saying, wait a second, you said something about income replacement and financial independence. What are you talking about? And I'm like, let's go. You ready? Because once you open up your brain and you don't have those food thoughts and food noise and the running commentary, the ticker tape, your brain is ready to go. You can think differently. You can change the way you think. You can change the way you live. But now we've got a basis, right? And then you can incorporate sleep. One of my clients has a hell of a time. She went for a sleep study. How much you want to bet? They find zero, social, nothing, right? Because it's all habit shit, right? And and that's fine. And we work on that at AMS. We also work on it in coaching, but it's a big thing because has anyone ever read Atomic Habits by James Clear? It's one of my favorite books. It's habit stacking because now that you've lost the weight, you're like, well, wait a second. Now I want to feel better. I could only walk 8 minutes before. Now I can go for a 5-mile walk every morning and I'm out in nature and I'm living. I'm living. I still love that before and after photo that somebody put in our private patient group at Disney World. They had the before she was sitting in a roller coaster and now sitting in the roller coaster seat. And there was so much room, Yes, 7.5 is not a maintenance dose. The maintenance doses have been put out by Eli Lilly. Ready? Rabbit out of a hat. Who knows where they got that from? I'm sure they got it from somewhere. But 5, 10, and 15 are the maintenance doses. Because everyone's the same, right? So why not do that? Whatever. All right, I get snarky.
Anna
Yeah.
asked if Zepbound has a diuretic component to it. I would say it's not really supposed to, but it does seem to.
A lot of it is you don't crave shitty food. So you release a lot of bloat and inflammation. You're not taking in the fluids you were before. So again, you're releasing a lot more. Nice job, Jackie, down 50 pounds.
Way to go.
Oh my God. 170. So I was 170 to, or 169 to 115-ish, 117. I don't know. Somewhere around there. I can't remember what I weighed this morning. I gained a couple pounds on vacation. It was all freaking bloat. And boy, speaking of no fried foods, did I pay for that fish fry? Holy shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I overate like Noah with tartar sauce.
I mean,
it was good, but I was like, I just didn't need the amount I ate. I should have gotten the kids' portion. Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going out of town this weekend. I know it'll be like a lot of eating out. And I've already started thinking, okay, well, I started thinking and planning with my oldest who were moving into college, like our meals for this week. And I was like, ooh, I better do something light before we travel. Cause I know there's a lot of eating out and like, you don't want to stack too. Yeah. It's a
thing.
whole thing.
Anna said, it seems to have a diuretic effect. Had to stop one blood pressure med because it bottomed out the first few weeks. So especially with weight loss, because those blood vessels that feed the fat are gone. So you don't have to push through extra literal miles of blood vessels. My dad's blood pressure medicine damn near killed him during a half marathon with me. Like the medics were coming over, like, is he okay? And I'm like, we're not stopping, but he's not really okay, but we'll be fine. And he and I got on the phone for an hour and a half and discussed his medication regimen, what it was, what he was on, because his heart rate couldn't compensate enough to get the blood flow to his brain and this and that and the other. And he asked me, he said, so how do people that don't talk to their doctor for an hour and a half do this? And I said, poorly. because you see your doctor for 5 minutes, you say, this is what's happening. And they give you a different medicine and you say, try it, see how it goes, instead of really digging in. But that's why, you know, my coaching is not medical advice, but we do all lifestyle shit. So, by the way, if you're interested, there's a couple ways to get into my VIP coaching. If you want more information or you just want to join, send me a DM on, you can comment if you want to comment on YouTube, or even, you know what, if you want to comment on TikTok, success, the word success, anywhere, throw me success anywhere. I'll get you the information. If you want to get it in at 11, because we do a VIP hour right after this, we keep going and we dig. Do it fast, because I have Jill on the back end. If you want to do it, send a DM now. She's waiting for DMs and we can get you in at 11 if you want to keep going. So, okay. Let's see.
Mark, I love it.
If Harris said tirzepatide, $30 a month, it's over. Seriously. Right? Oh, hold on. Sherry and Tracy. All right, hold on. So, see, here we go. We're testing a new process today. So, Jill should be watching. Can you send, actually, you know what, Lena? So let's see if Lena can do it. Lena, can you send Tracy, Sherry, and Nadine info on the program, the blurb? I wrote a thing out yesterday that was very cute. So yes, I write. So by the way, if you guys see my content, I don't have a copywriter. I'll never have a copywriter. I write my shit. You'll see sometimes it has typos. Sorry in advance. You want it too, Mark? Because Mark, I'm like, Mark, I could run with you. I got that. I'm like, I see you. I see you. You're in a suit. I can push this. We need income replacement. We need full financial independence. I'm like, I get like, these guys know. They're like, oh Jesus, here she goes again. But seriously. Yeah. Okay, Lena, I'm actually going to text you the blurb that I wrote. So you've got it to copy and paste.
I'll grab this one. Anna, electrolytes and set bound with history of hypertension is a little confusing. Yes, it can be. Is element of electrolytes too high in sodium? So it's going to depend if you have sodium retention hypertension, which not all of them are. It is going to be a bit more of a balance, I would say, but generally speaking, most people, when their amount of food decreases greatly, so do all of their nutrients, including salt. And if you live in a really hot environment, you do need some sodium. So I would say probably one electrolyte replacement drink daily, not the super salty ones. There's some that are like the liquid IV, what is it, Rapid Replace or something like that. And like the Gatorade has a sports one and Body Armor Light has another sports one. Those are probably too high in sodium, but a regular like Body Armor Light or sugar-free Gatorade, probably one of those a day, as long as you're also drinking enough liquids, is not going to be enough to raise your sodium, to raise your blood pressure. Long answer, but tricky balance.
Yeah. And you know, this is so weird. I had a dream about this. I think it was deja vu, but I was like literally in a line in my dream and somebody asked about high blood pressure and salt. So weird. This is what I freaking dream about, but whatever. 33% of hypertension is salt sensitive. Now, if you have congestive heart failure, that's a different story. You've really got to monitor your volume and you got to manage that. Now, these GLP-1s also improve certain kinds of heart failure. So do it for my grandma. 20 years ago today, by the way, Hurricane Charlie hit Port Charlotte. So that was a big deal for them. Took them 10 years to recover. So difference in the world then, right? But the benefits of GLP-1s are so incredibly important in my medical opinion, and I'm allowed to have one because trust me, I'm a doctor, right? No, but I think the benefits are so important that if you can get with a cardiologist, obesity medicine doctor, or lifestyle medicine or an endocrinologist that's really going to manage that, it's you know, I'm not doing it here. It's not medical care here, but so Anna, here's the deal. Listen to this. So she said, I sweat a ton working out all the time. I actually crave sodium. Yeah. So when I did the half Ironman, I sweat way more on a GLP-1. My body works better. I was hyponatremic enough to get confused. So don't try this at home. This is like a Mythbusters moment. But I told my friend to get me salt packets from the restaurant on the inside. And I took 5 of them at the next 5 aid stations till my thinking was clear, because I'm tuned in enough that I can figure that out. And I'm not doing a half Ironman in 2025. I'm not doing anything longer than sprints.
Okay. Except the half marathon, right?
Well, a half marathon. That's like, it's only one sport.
It's not try. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't limit my sodium. I actually salt the shit out of my food. Because my blood pressure is usually about 91/60, give or take. So I salt the hell out of my food to maintain blood volume. So it's really nuanced, right? Because the conventional wisdom is avoid salt. Now, avoiding processed foods is a different thing, right? Because Mark said I've limited my food intake. Mark, did you want coaching info? Well, you're getting it anyway. Lena sent him coaching info. So I want to make sure we get everybody. But I don't like if you're outside like this, I'm literally like if you here. This thank God you can't see it on the top, right? It's what I do. So I have to stay hydrated, but I'm not going inside until I have to. Because look at this, I have banana trees. My plumeria is not flowering though. It's just not, but it has leaves and it's not dead, so we're gonna be happy with it. Yeah. So it's just, and I don't normally sweat like this, but only since I've been on a GLP-1 and have had the metabolic repair, my body uses food better. My body, it does everything better. Freaking nifty, you know? So anyhow, yeah. Oh, so hereditary hypertension diagnosed at 21. Now, just because it's hereditary though, doesn't mean it's salt sensitive.
Right.
But doctors don't talk about that. You know why?
Nope.
Because they take 5 minutes with you and they look at the JNC 10, 11, 12, whatever we're on now, because I'm old.
Yeah.
They look at the hypertension recommendations and they treat everybody the same.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. No, it is. And
It's hurting people.
yeah.
Literally hurting people.
And it is a very difficult balance, which is why we don't manage that in neither of my current practices.
Right.
It's a tricky balance.
I mean, I manage it with my dad because he and I can talk for an hour and a half and talk about
Right.
his meds, and we just don't. I wonder, wouldn't it be cool if every person with hypertension and lifestyle diseases had either a concierge medicine, lifestyle medicine, or a direct primary care doctor, because they're the ones that can spend more time with you.
Yeah.
It would change the world. Yeah, I know. I can't do it all. All right, I hear you. No offense, doctors aren't focusing correctly with patients. None taken.
We agree.
That's why I do emergency medicine once a month. And I had a dream last night that I missed the actual ER again. I was like, God, I hate that dream. It's always Barris working. Maybe I just miss the people. It was a weird dream. Weird dream. It won't let me send you my accounts private. Oh my, that was Sydney C. Anyhow. Yeah, doctor. Well, see, we're taught. Oh, how much time do I have? 6 minutes? Yeah.
It's a whole big.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a certified nutritionist because I have a passion for nutrition. I'm a certified life coach because I have a passion for growth. I'm a certified triathlon coach, which I'm actually not anymore. I let those lapse. I'm certified athletic trainer, certified triathlon coach for many years because activity and sport is part of life. It should be part of life. It should be fun,
Nisi B asked, and she said earlier, I apologize for not getting in there, that her Manjaro is helping her endometriosis. I don't know of any studies on that, but makes sense. It's inflammatory process, just like all the rest of these. And the joint pain, the endometriosis is a classic inflammatory process. So that makes a lot of sense that it would work and help.
Endometriosis, PCOS, colitis, IBS. We've heard patients with rheumatoid arthritis, and there aren't specific studies other than the one cardioprotective that shows that the CRP, which is a non-specific inflammatory level, does go down. So that kind of explains why most inflammatory processes we see a reduction in those impacts.
Okay, I just got some information that Eli Lilly's being a little skeevy.
Uh-oh.
I love that word. But this is important. So if you respond with an attorney letter saying it's still on the FDA shortage list and fuck off, I would probably not keep that in there. That was from the person who texted me. We have good friends, right? Oh, hold on. Let me get my TikTok still going. it gets dropped. It's certainly a scare tactic and they're hitting advertisers hard right now, but nothing they can really do. Response should be by an attorney, which is what I told my friend who got the letter. She's like, I can't afford an attorney. I said, well, then you shouldn't be doing things that require an attorney, which is your damn job. Okay. So, all right. All right, good. And then I've got a little bit more information that I'll pass along
Good.
in small group. So, it's great resulting. The takeaway is reduced weight. So here's the kicker, Mark. The studies are that a lot of these things are independent of the weight loss. So if people are on them and don't lose weight, these things still improve. That's freaking amazing. So we literally have a drug or a class of drugs now that counteract the hole we dug for ourselves with metabolic bullshit, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So somebody asked about fibroids. I don't think that the same would be true.
Yeah, fibroids aren't an inflammatory condition.
It's overgrowth. Yeah. I pay more to get nutrition, supplement recommendations, etc. Yeah, that's what I do. So if you're our patient, we do that for patients. We do supplement recommendations, all the things, but then my higher level coaching, I'm giving myself 2 more minutes and I'm going to go. My higher level coaching, we dig deep, because that's all the certifications I hold. That's not a doctor, that when we can kind of like really go, because my doctor shit is doctor shit, right? The weight reduction is critical to better health. Oh, no. Oh, do not. Yeah. Like, no, my husband said something super cool this week. That every day you have that excess weight on shortens your lifespan.
Yep.
He said the faster you can get it off, the better. Don't, everyone says, oh, slow is better. No, get your body fucking repaired. And he didn't say that. That was me. I swear a lot more than he does. But we do not do, the Carolinas are a pain in the ass with telehealth. I do coaching nationwide, but we do not do medical care. So yeah, his thing is, and this is so funny because he's watched me over the past 2 years with this medication. He has totally changed his tune. He's like, no, get the weight off first, then we build. And that's exactly what I do. Weight loss is only the beginning. The coaching, we go. Yep. And then we go. And then, that's why, my providers get access to my coaching, obviously at no charge. It's essentially like the highest level. I won't tell you what that one costs. It's really, really expensive. Mostly because I have no white space in my calendar. So you got to really pay for it. My regular coaching is cheap as fuck. because I want to do this for people. Do we provide for California? We do not. Go to Maribel, Maribel, telehealth.com. She's my California gal. So, all right, guys, find me on any platform, DM me success. I have people on the back end today to get you into the call in 1 minute if you want to get in. So I don't have to do this myself and waste time. Hi, Maggie. So I don't have to waste time. So if you want to go, we can go. You're welcome, Mark. Good to see you. We'll be here next week. Same time, same bat channel, 10 o'clock Central. Here, shoot the shit, learn some stuff. Hopefully we'll have better news on the Skeevy Eli Lilly stuff. I still love them. They still own, but whoever's doing their law shit right now needs to back it down. So they need to help us is really what they need to do. Make it cheaper. Help us. Truly help us. That would be the ideal. Truly help us. Okay. So if we didn't get to talk to you today, we'll see you next week at 10. If you're in